Hello guys, it's me Zain, and allow me to introduce you these Cattleyas. These Cattleyas might be familiar to you because we saved them together in a video, and this leaf is right before my mouth, so it's not good. Now it's much better. If you want to check that video out, click in the corner, and also you can search for that video in the description box. Now, if you're new to this channel, I don't like this shadow. If you are new to this channel, consider the option of subscribing to it, and also consider the option of following me on Instagram because I have cool pictures there. Check it out. Let's talk about these Cattleyas. It's gonna be fun. Now, if we look at these Cattleyas, you can see that they're looking exactly like how we left them. There is like no visual difference. Now let's talk about them. So this was my smaller Cattleya, and with this one we had a pretty bad root system. There was like one whole root and another root which was like a half root even, so my hopes weren't too high. I don't remember if I said that in my previous video, but you know, there is this new growth here which is pretty much just broken. So the tip of the leaf was broken. Most probably it was broken when the flower shop was handling these orchids. They just don't give a fuck about these orchids, they just want to sell shit. So this new growth was a victim of the profit. So the leaf, the top leaf is broken in half, but the whole leaf is there, so there are like no missing parts. To this point, to this level, there were these sheets covering the newly growing leaf. To this level, there were these sheets covering the newly growing leaf. And this much was the leaf which was already peeking out from these sheets. So after a time, as the leaf is growing, the leaf grows out from the sheets, and there's gonna be the pseudobulb inside the sheath. Now, since I repotted it, well, that was a shock for this plant and it was just too much. So yeah, that coupled with the fact that there was a lack of roots, I was suspecting that this is what's gonna happen. So right now this new growth rather stopped growing, and it can happen with stressed orchids. If you have a newly growing pseudobulb, there is a disturbance, there is a stress when it's growing. Sometimes the newly growing pseudobulb or the newly growing whatever can stop and mature as it is. So maybe the newly forming cane is gonna form there, is gonna plump up there, is not gonna grow. That would be just too much energy for the plant to transfer into the new growth when it wants to survive and stuff like that. So that happens a lot in cases like this. So basically now we have a half matured pseudobulb. Right now I'm waiting for the pseudobulb to mature inside these sheets, which are already starting to brown, and that the sign that these sheets, the new growth covering sheets, are already drying up and browning up. That told me that actually the new growth was stopped, it was cancelled. Nothing like that. New growth right now in this stressful period, bitch no. So that's one of the things. The other thing is, well, Cattleya roots. If you know a thing or two about Cattleyas, you know that they will have fussy root systems. That means that the old roots won't adapt to the new environment, they will rather die. They are like me. Now there was a part where the root was actually at the side of this spot, so basically you can see that, I hope. So at this point, that is the root. And as you can see, oopsie, that is the root, and as you can see, it's brown, it's mushy, it's dead. So yeah, that's about Cattleya roots. So basically right now, there are no good roots inside the pot because they rotted out. That's not really good, but you know, it happens with Cattleyas. There are no roots. I was like, where's the energy coming from? I mean, these leaves are not too wrinkly. They're a little bit wrinkly, but the energy management is pretty good with this Cattleya. I wasn't sure about that. What's happening? This Cattleya said the stress no. It said no to the stress, and it thought, well, I'm gonna grow some roots. So at the base of this newly, halfly matured pseudobulb, there are new roots coming out from the rhizome, and I'm really happy about that because they are growing right now into the medium, they are growing everywhere. That's exactly what I needed. So at first I was actually surprised that new roots started to appear this quickly, but I'm happy about that because, you know, new roots means hydration and stuff. I'm sure that this pseudobulb won't bloom because it's just cancelled. I think the next pseudobulb will be bad also. I mean bad. It will be better than this little tiny cracked leaf pseudobulb, but it's still not gonna be a blooming size pseudobulb. So I really hope I won't get like one pseudobulb per year from this Cattleya, because that would be a shame. I'm really curious how the flowers look like on this one. After this one, let's take a look at the bigger one. Now, oopsie. This one is looking better, while the other one had really tiny wrinkles already on the leaves. Nothing like that is happening on this plant. The leaves are smooth, the leaves are perfectly plump. There are the tiniest wrinkles on the pseudobulb, but I wouldn't call them wrinkles, I would just call them like smile wrinkles or whatever. So this plant is doing really great right now. When I repotted this one, it had a lot of roots, so that is a good thing to start off with. But I'm not sure what the roots are doing right now inside the pot. But this plant thought the same as my other plant. Let's grow some new roots. So there are some new roots growing from these two newer pseudobulbs, and there is one root escaping the pot there at the base. So at this point I'm just really afraid to touch this and to move this, but we will try to look at the root system inside the pot. Maybe we can spot some roots at the sides of this transparent pot, but I'm really afraid to touch it. But I will have to take it out anyways, because today is watering day and I will have to move this so I can water it. So please, root, don't... Okay, it's stuck to the decorative container. Oh my god, help! What should I do right now? Okay, this Cattleya update just turned into a root damaging disaster. Okay, I just slowly lifted the new root from the decorative container, and I feel like I'm doing something. I feel like I'm doing something like, I don't know, canceling an atomic bomb or something. And I will slowly lift it out. Oh shit. Oh, the things we do for our orchids, right? Call me crazy. Most probably I am. Shit, I'm so happy that I lifted this one out. Holy shit. Stuff is happening here. Okay, I don't need that right now. The same is happening as with my other Cattleya. You can see some dead roots here. These were the roots which were still alive and I repotted it, but you know, Cattleya roots. They are fussy. Bang! There is a new good root going down into the medium, and I can spot another root here. So yeah, it's pretty great. So I just had to wait a month and a new root system is basically bursting out from the rhizome, and that's really good. I'm just really happy that the new root system is growing so fast on this Cattleya, because the later the Cattleya creates a root system, the period of dehydration is gonna be longer. So let's imagine that this Cattleya was just repotted and it lost the roots because the Cattleya roots are fussy, and it decides to stale and it decides to grow roots like half a year after it was repotted. So basically you're gonna have a half of a year of an orchid which is experiencing dehydration, so it's not the optimal thing. So it's gonna have less and less energy for doing stuff. So when it comes to actual root production or new growth production, there's gonna be only a little tiny amount of energy left. But in the case of this orchid, it started to actually grow a fabulous new root system after a month, and I'm just the happiest person on earth right now that it's happening, because 1 month for an orchid is like 1 week for a house plant. So it's not a lot of time, because you know they are slow, they take their time to do anything. So yeah, so basically I can say it instantly started to produce a new root system after repotting, and that's the best option, because as it is producing a new root system, that means the hydration will be continuous. There's gonna be like not too much energy lost in the process. So basically you get a rather healthier Cattleya, and you don't have to wait like 5 years until it recovers. So as I thought this is going to be the case, this is not looking the best but still this is not the worst case. Both of these are still lucky cases, so I'm happy that this happened. So right now I'm gonna finish this video and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna water all of my plants because it is needed. Everything is basically dried up in the middle of winter, because in the winter time I'm just lazy because water evaporation is just happening so slowly. So I'm like, oh, I don't have to water, I can wait a week or two, and then bang, all my plants are wrinkling and stuff. So yeah, I need to water like basically right now. That was my video for today and I hope you liked it. If you liked it, click on the like button. If you disliked it, click on the dislike button. If you have anything to say about my Cattleyas, there is the know it all section below this video. Leave a comment there and we're gonna be all happy that you left a comment. Now you can subscribe to this channel, also you can subscribe to my other channel, you can follow me on Instagram, and if you subscribe to my channels, actually don't forget to click on the bell button so you get notifications every time I post. And yeah, that's for today. See you next time. Bye guys.